Good morning. I am Dr. Othonos, the president of the Homeopathic Academy, and this is the 13th lesson of the e-learning project of the Homeopathic Academy in collaboration with the Homeopathy Data Bank for Classical Homeopathy and in collaboration with the Marathon International Summer School about classical homeopathy. The first 3 lessons were theoretical about homeopathy and about classical miasmatic constitutional homeopathy. Then 5 or 6 lessons followed that had to do with the description of several constitutions. Then we had 3 theoretical lessons that had to do with the homeopathic and universal laws, the structure and function of man and universe, and the etiology and origin of illness, etiological chain of illness. It's now time again to go back to the description of some more polycrest chronic constitutions like Valeriana, Platina and some other. Then we will go on with 2 or 3 lessons that have to do with the case taking of the homeopathic history. Today we will speak about the constitution, the chronic syphilitic constitution Valeriana. Although it is a very frequent constitution, and especially at the ages of puberty, from the age of puberty and even a little bit before, pre-puberty, until the age of 30, 35, it is the most common, the most frequent female constitution. Nevertheless, I haven't yet found anyone else describing Valeriana in the same way that I do, and especially identified, fully identified. If you open Kent at his Materia Medica, and if you go at the repertory of Kent and try to find the rubrics of Valeriana, you will see that only scattered rubrics are found, and the description is not full. It is not fully identified. And I have found the same when you go to other classical Materia Medicas, of Allen, of Hering, of Lippe, and so on. What do we mean by saying fully identified when we talk about the Constitution? We don't mean to have a list of rubrics scattered and confused and not giving a full picture. If when you read a Materia Medica, a description of a constitution at any Materia Medica, at the end you don't have the picture, the full picture and the essence of this constitution, and especially if you don't have a distinct picture, a picture that has its own limits, and you can compare it and discriminate from other well-known constitutions, then you don't have an identification, a full identification of that constitution. It is very important and crucial, this matter, in classical miasmatic constitutional homeopathy, because we are based not on the scattered rubrics or on keynotes or on the physical characteristics of a constitution. We are based on the full psychological profile during the state of clinical health or state of chronic illness, as we say in homeopathy. While when you do repertorizing, keynote prescribing, or computer expert systems, you don't have a full picture, you have keynotes, you have scattered rubrics, and especially from the phase of acute illness, you have symptoms. You don't have characteristics as you do have in the state of chronic illness or state of clinical health. So, in classical miasmatic constitutional homeopathy, we mainly deal with chronic prescribing, and that means that we employ chronic constitutions that are fully proven and fully identified. For example, if you read many other rubrics in the Materia Medica of Kent, you will see that, for example, let's take berberis. You don't have a distinct psychological picture, a characteristic psychological picture, one that you can discriminate from other well-known pictures. You have scattered rubrics, mental rubrics. For example, irritability. So what? Irritability during that or during this. So what? Anxiety, forgetful. All these are general rubrics. We don't have many and characteristic psychological rubrics, psychological characteristics. We only have symptoms that are not characteristics. So you cannot form a picture in your mind about berberis, his psychological profile, in order to be able to carry it in your mind and be able to discriminate from other psychological pictures. You only have keynotes, and keynotes is not a fully proven, fully identified picture. So, I believe that you will not find such a fully identified image, picture of Valeriana anywhere else. I myself was not taught Valeriana. I was taught only a few things, and I managed to identify and fully identify Valeriana after many years of clinical practice and efforts to identify it. I believe that now it is fully identified, and I give it to you as it is. 30 years of clinical practice have confirmed again and again this fully identified picture. And not only by me. I have taught Valeriana to my students, and they have grasped the essence and psychological profile of Valeriana. They have prescribed it to their patients, and they have again confirmed this fully proven picture. I will not teach any constitution that I haven't identified. I believe we add to confusion and not to knowledge. There are some efforts today that some collaborators some other teachers start writing down new materia medicas. But if you can't offer something new and something deep, you shouldn't write it. You should write only about what you have fully understood and fully proven in clinical practice. Or else you will take from that author, from this author, from the other author, and put these together and brag that you have a full materia medica that has 100, 200, 800, 5,000 homeopathic remedies. If there are not constitutions that are fully identified, then you shouldn't do that. You don't add to knowledge, you add to confusion or to boredom. So, we will proceed with the description of the Constitution Valeriana. As always, we will first talk about the essence of Valeriana, which includes its miasmatic synthesis and its main characteristics. Then we will analyze the full psychological profile, and then we will compare this with the mental rubrics from Kent, the general characteristics from Kent, and the use in acute illness. What is the essence of Valeriana? Valeriana is a syphilitic constitution. The main miasm, the dominant miasm is the syphilitic one. So we have a syphilitic individual an insecure individual, a reactive individual, syphilitic, insecure, reactive. These are the three main characteristics that, if we base our description on this, then we have the essence, the core of Valeriana. Syphilitic, insecure, reactive. And a hidden, a well-hidden one. That is, we have many secondary reactions, secondary behaviors, as all syphilitic, most of syphilitic constitutions do have. Let me give you the typical picture of Valeriana. Usually, what's the scenario? What's the background that attracts Valeriana to people and that produces, let's say, Valeriana constitution? Usually we have a mother that is syphilitic and usually lachesis, overprotective and dominant, and we have a father that is submissive, that has been, let's say, ruled by the syphilitic mother lachesis. The lachesis mother has the upper hand, And if not if it is a submissive father, or we may have a psoric father, or we may have a psychotic father, and there has been many fights with Lachesis, and Lachesis' mother has neutralized this father, her husband, and she has created a very negative picture to her daughter Valeriana and to her children, and especially to her daughters, that she is a no good father, a no good husband, a cheating husband, which is true many times if he is a psychotic Medorinum, a good for nothing father, an alcoholic, the one that doesn't work and doesn't bring money to the house, and so on. And we have many fights. And when fighting, the syphilitic mother and the psychotic father, usually the psychotic father, after many fights, says, "Get off my back. I don't want this wife, I don't want this family." And they may get separated, and because the mother, the syphilitic mother, takes the daughter with her side, the syphilitic daughter with her side, managing to accuse successfully the father, then the father, if he is psychotic and especially Medorinum, doesn't care about, rejects not only the wife, it rejects the family as a whole and rejects the daughter. And then the daughter gets reactive and follows the same path with the mother. Or you may have a syphilitic father, husband, that is always engaged in fighting with the syphilitic mother, and this fighting goes on until they are both dead. And all the negative fruits of this fighting go to the children. You see, sins of the parents are transferred to the children, and they have these problems through their whole life, because they couldn't get off these characteristics and these troubles and this trauma that they have got from their early childhood until they have left the house of their parents. So there are usually three scenarios when we have a Valeriana daughter. The first scenario is that you have a mother that is a syphilitic one. Syphilitic mother, usually Lachesis. And then you may have a psoric parent. If it is a psoric parent, then it is mostly a submissive one, and then we have the domination of the mother and the rejection of the male prototype of the father. We have a father that is not a male, that is not a contributing figure, that is a submissive figure. We may have a father that is a psychotic. Then there is a lot of fighting, and then the psychotic father either goes away and doesn't care to be a father and to be a husband, and then again we have the domination of the syphilitic mother. And then we may have a syphilitic, strong, dominant individual father, a father that is a dominant one, and then we have many fights until death. And most of the times the mother is the one that dominates because she is the mother, she has the children closer to her. The law in Western societies is in favor of the mother as concerns children, and especially daughters. And so we have a domination of the female and the rejection of the male prototype. Under these circumstances, if the daughter is a little bit syphilitic and insecure, it becomes reactive. It rejects the male prototype. She gets proud of the female prototype. And you have a person, especially Valeriana starts getting frequent from the childhood, from the elementary school age, and especially during puberty. What is the main characteristic of puberty? Reaction. I get reactive. I have gathered a lot of anger from my early childhood due to the problems with the fights between the mother and the father. I have gathered a lot of anger, and then I become very insecure, but I don't want to show it, and then I get reactive towards the parents, reactive towards the father, towards the mother, towards my brothers and sisters, towards other guys in school, towards the society, towards the system. But behind this secondary behavior, this mask of I am confident and I know things, there is a great amount of insecure that she doesn't want to reveal it. So this is the background usually. So let me give you some pictures of this reactiveness. Reactive and insecure, these two go hand by hand. Let's start from the appearance. The non-verbal data that we get from the appearance of a Valeriana teenager. You will see what I usually call a teenager that seems to be dressed free, sportive, seems that she doesn't care much about her appearance. She wears jeans that are torn or washed away. the color is washed away, or she may herself tear it more. She will wear just a blouse. Her whole appearance may seem to be cool and relaxed and without many efforts, yet it's the opposite. She's so insecure that before going out on a party, she changes clothes many times. I will have this. No, it's not good, it's ugly. I will change it. I will put another blouse. What's this jean? No. She may have 10, 15, 20 jeans. Yet, although it has taken her too much time to choose all these 10, 15 jeans, nevertheless, she will usually get dressed with 3 or 4 of them, because these 3 or 4 are the ones that don't irritate her insecurity. So she has 15 jeans and she always uses 2 or 3 or 4. She changes and says, that doesn't fit me. She doesn't say it easily to others, to her mother, to her sisters and brothers, or to others. She may talk about it to her very close friend, 1 or 2. But she will not reveal it because she doesn't want to feel down, to feel lower. That's another very important characteristic. Not to feel down, that she is below, not to feel below others. Insecurity, not to feel below others. Not necessarily to feel above others, but not to feel below others. So she has this insecurity about her appearance, especially about her hair, about her weight, about her height, about her belly. If you ask her, she will tell you that many times she feels that, what's the matter with my nose, with my hands, with my feet, with my hair? She feels as if she were angry and ugly, and usually she is not. Nevertheless, she has this insecurity that she is ugly, that she is not dressed well, that she is fat, and many times she isn't, or she has lower weight than normal, yet she has this great anxiety about her weight, or about her appearance, about pimples, about acne of the puberty. So she may do diet all the time in order to keep her weight down or to lose kilos. She may even have anorexia nervosa. That is, she eats very little, or maybe she gets hungry, she eats very much, then she provokes vomiting in order not to get fat. And we have anorexia nervosa. Valeriana is often the individual that suffers from anorexia nervosa, and also platina. So, as to her appearance, weight, age, clothes, hair, and so on. She is insecure and reactive. She's insecure about her appearance, and many times, due to this insecurity, she gets reactive and goes to the extremes. She says, "Oh, those girls, they are dressed like Barbie." And she goes to the other extreme. Although she buys expensive clothes, she wants to be clothes that are sportive, are against the system. She doesn't want to wear gold rings and gold jewelry. She prefers the silver ones or the faux bijoux, because she is against the system, and she wants to show that she is against the system. She may shave her hair, this side, and leave here. She may color her hair like carrots, the color of the carrots, or strange colors like blue. She will put many rings here, on the tongue, here, 5 rings here, on the belly button, and a chain here. Do tattoos, extreme tattoos. Anything extreme in order to provoke the interest of other people and to show that she is against the system. She is against the rules of the parents, against the rules of the teachers, against the rules of the society, especially if after the syphilitic dominant miasm she has a lot of psychotic miasm also, then she gets very reactive and goes to the extremes. You may see a psoric Valeriana, the one that the syphilitic miasm is dominant, yet she has as second miasm the psoric one, and then she may be she's not so reactive and not so to the extremes. But if you have much psychotic miasm also apart from the syphilitic, then she gets very reactive, and she may go to the extreme as to her appearance and as to her behavior. When this insecurity is very clear also as to her sitting position. She enters the office, she sits down, and she is very tensed and anxious inside. Yes, she tries to cover it and not to show it. So most of the time she sits with her legs crossed, the one hand on the belly as if she wants to protect herself, and the other like this, again protective, at a protective posture, many times covering her mouth, touching her chin, her hair, and doing something with her hair all the time, because she's got this great nervousness, but she tries to hide it. So this is a defensive posture. It seems psoric, but it is a defensive because she is very insecure and reactive. Many times she has these rings here, not here, here, because this is more against the system, more extreme, more against the usual things. So, insecurity and reactiveness during appearance. And although she has this defensive posture, she may say a few words that show that she has this reaction. She is, let me go on, reactive and insecure. For example, let's see other examples apart from appearance. Her behavior towards parents. She wants to be loved very much by her parents, to be cared about, she wants interest. And like a little child, if she believes or if she thinks or if she suspects even that she doesn't get it and they don't love her, then she reacts, she gets reactive. Although she wants her parents to kiss her, to touch her, to give her love, nevertheless she reacts in order to show that she is modern, and because she can't stand very close communication. She once I had a case of a child, a female child, Valeriana, that she wanted to hug her, to be hugged and to be kissed and cared, but when you hugged her, she came to you for a hug. You hugged her, and the minute you hugged her and things got more close, then she gave you a kiss and then she gave you a slap. I want, but not too much. Not to show that I am weak, not to feel below, that I need you, that you give me and I owe you. It's a terrible combination. It is a combination that makes Valeriana individual suffer very much. She wants the love of her parents, the love of her husband, the love of her children, but not too close, not too much, because she gets reactive. She doesn't want to show that she is weak and insecure. She will not admit it easily. So, you see, there are many behaviors that seem to be controversial, secondary, controversial behaviors. She has one picture and one external picture that doesn't suit at all the internal picture. And when the internal behavior gets out, you are confused to say, what is this person? Black or white? You see a person that seems to be loving and you want to love it too and express your love, and then she gets reactive and so you say, what is this? Is it a loving person or an irritable person? So you have many controversial big pictures because we have the difference between the primary and the secondary behavior. We have a person that seems calm, but it is very irascible. We have a person that wants love and is dying for love and care, but she becomes reactive, and ironic, and so on. You have a person that seems open and extrovert, but is very introvert. You have a person that seems very confident, but in fact it is very insecure. This is the secondary behavior, and this is the primary behavior. That's what she is, that's what she seems to be. We have many such controversial pictures, and that's why many homeopathic doctors don't know and don't recognize a Valeriana person. And if you believe my conclusion and my clinical experience that most of the women from childhood to 35 years old are Valeriana individuals, it is tragic that they are misdiagnosed and prescribed, wrongly prescribed. So, she seems calm, she's irascible. She wants love, she says, I don't need love. She seems open, she is introvert. She seems confident, she is insecure. She may fall in love greatly with someone, but she presents that she is independent. She seems independent, she is dependent. She seems beautiful, and many times she is beautiful, yet she believes that she is ugly. She seems to be, she pretends to be hot and liberated concerning sex, yet she is very conservative deep inside. She believes she is ugly. So you see, we have many secondary behaviors that don't match the primary behavior. If you base your diagnosis on the secondary behaviors, you are off, you are wrong, especially in syphilitic constitutions. You get lost. If you don't know the difference between primary and secondary behavior, you are lost. You have prescribed for the secondary behavior and not for the primary, and you have lost the case. Hidden behavior, reactive, insecure, syphilitic. This is true for her parents. Her parents will tell you for the teenager daughter. She is very irascible. Many times we don't know why she is angry. It's as if a bee has bitten her, and all of a sudden, she gets angry, and you don't know why she's angry. Her parents, when they see her angry, they go to her and tell her, well, why? Give me a hug. And she gets more reactive. They don't know how to behave towards her. They can't understand her. The one minute she's a kitten, the other minute she's a tiger. That's a very good picture of Valeriana. She seems to be a kitten, a pussycat, but on the other hand, many times when you try to get close to her, she becomes a tiger and she gets the nails out, a wild cat, and says, and then again, the loving one.